Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture series of microcontroller and embedded system subject, module number 3 with subject code 18CS44. Myself, Professor Sandeep Telkar R, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, KLS, VDIT, Hadiyar. Today I will be discussing with module number 3, that lesson number L21. So in the previous session we have discussed with the different categories of embedded system and its advantage. So one of those categories was COTS. So COTS, you already know that it is a commercial off the shelf, and we have seen the details of COTS in the previous session. So along with that we have seen with the various devices like sensors, actuators, LED, 7-segment LED display. So in today's session we will be discussing about the different types of memory devices which will be used in case of your embedded system. So this topic will fall in the course learning objective 3, and with respect to the Bloom's taxonomy it is going to fall under BL1 and BL2. So we'll start with the different types of memory device which will be supported in case of your embedded system. To start with, first we will see what is this memory. So as you all know that the memory is nothing but it is one kind of storage. So wherein you can store some data, wherein you can store some program also. So we'll first see what is some brief details about the memory. So as you all know that memory is an important part of processor or microcontroller based embedded system, right? So some of the processor or controller contains built-in memory, and that memory I will be referring it as on-chip memory, right? So there are some processor or there are some microcontroller where the memory will be built-in. So such kind of memory I will be calling, or I will be referring it as on-chip memory. So likewise we have some other different kinds of processor wherein it requires external memory which has to be connected with the processor or microcontroller to store the control algorithm. So such type of memory I will be calling it as off-chip memory. So there are mainly classified into on-chip memory and off-chip memory. So on-chip memory is a built-in memory which will be present in processor or microcontroller, but in case of off-chip memory it requires some external memory which has to be connected to the processor or controller. So such memory I will be referring it as off-chip memory. So next point with respect to the memory is there are some working memory which is required for holding data temporarily during certain operation, right? So this is some brief introduction with respect to the memory plus with respect to on-chip as well as off-chip memory. So next we will see about one more topic, that is program storage memory. So we will be seeing some detail with respect to the program storage memory. A program storage memory, or you can call it as a code storage memory. So this code storage memory of an embedded system, it usually stores the program instruction, and this code storage memory can be classified into different types. So we will be seeing the different types of program storage memory, or you can call it as code storage memory. So that different categories or different types of memory has been classified into these particular things. So you can check with the block diagram representation of program storage memory, right? So this is the block diagram, so which represents the various different types of program memory or code storage memory. So we will see with the details about each and every classification of different types of program storage memory. So the code memory retains its content even after the power to it is turned off. So such type of memory, that is, I will be calling it as non-volatile memory. So meaning what? So whenever you are working on a microprocessor system or a microcontroller based embedded system, when the power is turned off also, your working data will be retained. It is not going to be erased. So such type of memory I will be calling it as non-volatile storage memory. So in that we will be seeing with the first classification, that is about masked memory, right? So we will be seeing with the details of that. So masked memory, first point with respect to that one is, it is a one time programmable device, meaning if once it is been written or once if it is been programmed, it is done. We cannot make use it for further purpose or future purpose. So how it has been made manufactured is nothing but it uses hardwired technology for storing data. So factory programmed by masking and metallization process at the time of production itself. So what are the advantages of masked memories? So it is of low cost for high volume production. It is least expensive type of solid state memory. So with respect to or with regard with applications, masked ROM is a good candidate for storing the embedded firmware for low cost embedded devices. So next we will see with the limitation. So what are the limitations of MROM? So one of the limitation is with MROM based firmware storage, it is the inability to modify the device firmware against firmware upgrades. So if there is a requirement of upgradation or updation of firmware, it is not possible. So that is the one limitation of MROM. So this is the one classification of program storage memory. Likewise, we'll move on to the second classification, that is PROM. So PROM stands for programmable read-only memory, or one more name for PROM is one-time programmable memory, that is in short form you can call it as OTP. So we will be seeing with the details of OTP or PROM. So no, it is not pre-programmed by the manufacturer. End user or a customer is responsible for programming it. So what it is made up of? So PROM as polysilicon wires which has been arranged in the matrix format. So these wires can be functionally viewed as fuses. So again it can be programmed by a PROM programmer, so which selectively burns the fuses according to the bit pattern to be stored. So fuses which are not blown or burned will be represented by logic 1, whereas the fuses which are blown or burnt will be represented by logic 0. So the default state will be at logic 1, indicating that fuses are still not blown or burnt. So what is the application of PROM or OTP? We will be seeing it now. So OTP is widely used for commercial production of embedded system, so whose prototype version are proven and code is finalized. So it is a low cost solution for commercial production. OTPs cannot be reprogrammed, means it cannot be reprogrammed, it is only one time it can be programmable. So with respect to the limitations, OTP are not useful and worth for development purpose. So during the development phase, the code is subject to continuous changes, and using an OTP each time to load the code is not economical. So this is one of the limitation of PROM. So likewise we'll move on to the next different categories of program storage memory, that is EPROM. So EPROM stands for erasable programmable read-only memory. So what is about the detail? We'll be seeing it now. It gives the flexibility to reprogram the same chip, means it can be erasable. So once the program has been written, it can be erased, and it is going to provide us with the flexibility to reprogram the same chip. So the EPROM stores the bit information by charging the floating gate of an FET. Bit information is stored by using a EPROM programmer which applies high voltage to charge the floating gate. So next we will see with the limitations. What are the limitation, or what might be the limitation of EPROM? So even though the EPROM chip is flexible in terms of reprogrammability, so it requires or it needs to be taken out of the circuit board and it has to put in a ultra UV laser device for 20 to 30 minutes. So this is the one limitation of EEPROM. Likewise, we'll move on to the next different categories of program storage memory, that is EEPROM. So EEPROM stands for electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. So the information which is present in this memory can be altered easily by using electrical signal. The name itself is going to suggest, using electrically erasable thing I can reprogram the PROM, right? So they can be erased and reprogrammed in the circuit. So these chips include a chip erase mode, and in this mode they can be erased in a very few milliseconds. So one such application of EEPROM is it provides greater flexibility for system design. We have one limitation of EEPROM also, is their capacity. Its capacity is limited, so when compared to the standard ROM, right? So this is the one limitation of EEPROM. So likewise, we'll move to the next category, that is flash memory, right? So what is about the flash memory, we'll be seeing it now. So it is the latest ROM technology and it is a popular read-only memory. So technology used in today's embedded design. Flash memory, it is a variation of EEPROM technology. It combines reprogrammability of EEPROM and the high capability standard ROM. Means it is a combination of both, that is flash memory is a combination of both EEPROM and the high capability of standard ROMs, that is read-only memory. So flash memory is organized as blocks or sectors or in terms of pages. So flash memory stores information in an array of floating gate MOSFET transistor. The erasing of memory can be one at sector level or page level without affecting the other sectors. So each sector or page should be erased before reprogramming. The typical erasable capacity of flash memory is thousands per cycle. So these are the some information with regard with flash memory. Likewise, we'll move on to the last category of program storage memory, that is NVROM. So NVROM, it stands for non-volatile RAM. So it is a random access memory with a battery backup. So we have with the one more component which has been attached to this particular non-volatile RAM, that is we'll be having with the battery backup. So usually it contains static RAM based memory and minute battery for providing the supply, or that is power supply to memory in the absence of external power supply. So the memory and the battery are packed in a single package. So usually the lifespan of NVRAM is expected to be around 10 years. So one such example of 32 kilobyte non-volatile RAM is DSJ644 from Dallas. So this is the one example of non-volatile RAM. So to summarize the topics or to summarize the concepts which has been discussed in this session is, so we have got with the good knowledge of both on-chip memory as well as off-chip memory, as well as with the different categories of program storage memory. So next, what might be the significance? So what might be the importance of today's session is, so it has covered with the various memory devices and its advantages and limitation. So with respect to the purpose of your examination, so one probable question which you may expect in examination is, which are the different types of memory which are used in embedded system, right? So next, if you want to know with the additional information, so additional information with respect to on-chip memory, off-chip memory or program storage memory, I have been provided with the YouTube link over there. Just click on this link, you will be getting with the more information with respect to the concept what we have discussed in today's session. So until next session, thank you for listening.